As Americans are becoming more health conscious, they're becoming more interested in what is in the food that they purchase at the store and they consume. As in the case with my family, we are very interested in what is in the food that we eat. In fact, with our family, often is the case that what is on the back of the package is more important to us than the name on the front. We want to know what is in the food that we're eating and drinking, and is it good for us? So when H.R. 1599, the Safe and Accurate Food Labeling Act, came before Congress, we were especially interested in this bill in this office, and we spent a lot of time going through this bill to make sure that it didn't take us in the opposite direction from what I thought that we should go. I think every American has a right to know what is in the food that they consume and what has gone into the production and the process of that food. H.R. 1599, I believe, takes a major step forward into making sure that what is printed on the labels of food, the claims that producers make, are accurate. If they claim that they're natural, then you ought to have the right to know what is actually in that food to make the claim that is a natural food.
I also believe Americans have a right to know what's in our food. Did Congress just vote to ban the labeling of GMOs by food producers?
No, 1599 did not ban the labeling of GMOs at all. It just set a standard. The majority of the states have no labeling requirement for GMOs. Only 17 states had a labeling requirement, and the requirements were all different. One thing that this bill did is it actually brings in a standard. For instance, if you want to label that your food is GMO free, you can't just consider the ingredients that directly went into the food. It has to be a life cycle GMO-free food. For instance, if you wanted to market an ice cream that said your ice cream is totally free from GMOs, before you can put that label on there, you have to certify that not just the milk and the cream itself had no GMOs in it, but the feed that was given to the cattle would also have to be GMO free for you to be able to do this. So it doesn't ban the labeling of foods that do or do not have GMOs. It just sets a standard. So if you are concerned, as we are, about whether GMOs are in your food, 1599 actually takes a huge step forward to ensure that you know that what is in your food or what the labeling is accurate.
What about states' rights? Did you just overturn Georgia's GMO labeling laws?
Absolutely not. Georgia has no laws regarding GMO labeling. There's no standard whatsoever in the state of Georgia. 17 states did have some semblance of a labeling requirement, but they were all unique and they were all different. And companies that were producing products that were shipped into multiple states were literally having to produce multiple packages for multiple states. This was putting an undue burden upon these businesses of doing commerce. During the period of our Articles of Confederation, this was a common practice among states, and it was really causing problems between states. That's why during the Constitutional Convention, the founders put into place the Interstate Commerce Clause, which would give the federal government through Congress the ability to come in and set standards between states. This clearly falls within the Interstate Commerce Clause of federal preemption of states that are putting undue requirements. This simply puts a standard that all states would adhere to. So whether you're buying a product in Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, or New York State, and you look at the back of that product, you're going to know that what you buy in New York is the same as what you would buy in Georgia, that it meets the minimum standards.